I wrote a song for the finale of New America, Part 1, called Telephone. And the lyrics say, telephone is old dirty. He wants to give you directions home.
Oh, wow.
And, it goes on. But what's funny about it, we recorded the song right after he passed, right after he went to the next place. And it was in Los Angeles. And we were just working on a project, and so Aquarians, we all just happened to be there at the same time. Just, by happenstance. Common was Dilla's roommate. Most was working on something. Amir and I were there working with a group we have called Edith Funker.
Oh.
We got the news. I knew he was sick, but he didn't allow me to come see him. He didn't want me to see him. But we heard, and I guess our answer was to go in the studio and record. And we just recorded the whole thing all the way through. And later I added background vocals and, cleaned up, beveled the edges and things. But it was pretty much a live recording. And everybody kind of just sat there after the last note.
Was it therapeutic?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. We felt connected. That's a good therapy when we feel connected.
Well, that's from New America Part 1. I kind of skipped around a little bit.
Okay.
I wanted to mention Mama's Gone, obviously, but the album after Mama's Gone,
Worldwide Underground.
Worldwide Underground.
Yeah.
Which is kind of spontaneous, and it's the process.
Yeah, it was.
What was that experience like for you?
We just had equipment on the tour bus, and I created a tour called the Frustrated Artist Tour. I couldn't think of anything to say or to wear, So I created this tour just to come up with some inspiration, and it was really fun. And on the bus, we just had like a little movie studio, and whenever we get to a city where there was someone there I wanted to record with, they jump on the bus. Lenny Kravitz jumped on, Zap Mama, Karen Wheeler from Soul to Soul, Dead Prez, just a variety of people. Right now, it's funny because it's like having a lot of guests on the album is like almost criteria or something for a new artist. But that was the only album I did that with. Most of the albums that I do are pretty autobiographical, painted. But with New America, Worldwide Underground, it was just kind of like experimenting a little. Didn't know I was going to put it out, but there's a couple of things on there I wanted to share. So.
That's what makes it so, appealing. It captures that business, to it. And you've talked about I Want You as being one of from Worldwide Underground. That's experimental, but also structured in a really fascinating way. Maybe you want to describe a little bit about the process of creating that.
I Want You. We were in my house. I had a little makeshift studio, and I was just playing that dun 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 dun, and James came beside me and played it and took over. And Ringo was on the MP. We didn't have a bass player. It was just James on the key bass. Rashad Tomlin-Dice Smith, Ringo Smith. He's a producer. He produced like most of the anthems of New York, like Woo-Ha, One More Chance, Remix Beat. But he's also my DJ on stage. And he's also a part of a group called, what was the name of the group from Worldwide Underground? Frequency. We have a group called Frequency. Myself, James, and Rashad, and another dude named RC. And it's just us playing around, and Frequency became Worldwide Underground.
But I Want You is so, it's
cathartic.
It's kind of a cathartic.
My mind has been used. I Want You. I was wanting somebody at the time. Oh, there's a comment. Thinking in my mind, just trying to remember. But it was, it's always the truth. It's always something I'm feeling, or something I've experienced, something that someone else feels very closely, I love that song. It came out kind of clever, after a while, after I just kind of freaked around with the lyrics for a minute.
What's it like performing something like that live now? Because you can do all sorts of different things on stage.
I don't know. I just be in the zone, kind of. But it feels good. By the time I get to that song, when I'm performing a live set, I'm in it. We all in it. Yeah.
New America. This was an entire album.
Yeah.
Not just part 1 and 2.
Right.
Separated by years.
Mm-hmm.
So was it all recorded at the same time?
Yeah.
It was all done in 2007, 2008?
3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Around that time. And there was so much material. It was after the Frustrated Artist tour, which was a good idea. Because I wrote like a whole lot of songs. New America Part 1 and 2. And it was supposed to be one album actually. And I just kind of break it up. And I broke it up into themes, sonically, how it sounded, how it flows. To me, the sequence is just as important as an individual song. The sequence of an album is sometimes the album's strength or weakness. So.
Now, when we hear it now, you created all these songs, but when we hear it as 2 separate albums, people differentiate, part 1 as being the more political album, socially conscious. Yeah. It just happened to work out that way.
No, I separated it that way. Because I work with another husband I have named Emmett. He's the visual artist who does all of these rock posters and concepts for albums and things. I'll have a conversation with him, tell him what the album feels like to me, and he'll paint or draw something. His name is Emmett. So once I saw the album cover, it kind of helps you, because it's a living thing to me, this album, and the artwork, and who I am at that moment. Usually when a lady says, I don't have anything to wear, that's not what she means. She means I don't have anything to wear for who I'm trying to be today. I saw that on Facebook. It's kind of like once I saw the album covers, it's kind of like you know where to distribute each song. The feel was there.
But for the era, this is pre-2008. There's a lot of things to be very angry about.
I wasn't angry though.
Or things that you'd want to address that would be on all of our minds, really. I would think.
Yeah, I try to be as honest as I can when I'm writing. I try not to think too much like how people will receive it or like it. I try to just be honest, and it takes a long time sometimes to be honest. Between hours. So what did you just say? I had something good.
I said, as far as the topical nature of the album, as far as like what was going on in the world, but
oh right. It was just kind of like I'm a very social political person. Most of the things I do are political statements. Hair, hat, everything. It's some political statement. And I'm also a very emotional being, full of estrogen. Love. So I just think about whatever I'm feeling or seeing at the time. There's no emotion involved really. It's just kind of painting a picture for it. Recording is work. It's like creating. It's like perfecting a moment. But with live